Hi, I'm Fox, and today I will be talking about my septum that I got definitely 2 months ago, even a little bit more than 2 months ago, 2.5, yeah. I have some notes written down right here about a few things that I would like to talk. This is mainly an update video for how my journey has been so far with having a piercing in my nose, and I hope that this helps other people to get a little bit more information from my point of view, how it is to live with a septum. Starting out when I got it. I got my septum piercing back in May. If I'm not mistaken, it was the 17th of May. Might be wrong. I feel like it was Tuesday. I got it at a place in Old Town in Riga. From what I later understood, it is the most popular spot where a lot of people get their piercings done. The reason why I got a septum piercing is very spontaneous. I had been wanting a piercing for quite a long time, and septum seemed like the piercing to get because you can easily hide it and it doesn't affect my daily life. I wore fake septum rings for a day here and there, usually on the weekends and holidays, because I like the look of it, but I wanted to have a piercing that has these two balls, and it is very close to the nose, so it is not a huge piercing. I could not find a fake one that would look that way, so I kind of ended up just going for the real one. You put the two balls in and you can't even see it. If people do not know that you have a piercing, they have no way of finding out other than them looking deep into your nostrils, but that doesn't happen usually. So the cost of my septum piercing was around 25 euros. It includes the all the process of getting it and also the piercing that is put into your nose. I saw all of the tools used to get the piercing done, taken out of their original packages. Everything was absolutely clean and sterilized. I had no worries about getting an infection or anything else. And never once during the whole process was I worried that something was shady or that there was something to worry about. So everything was top-notch. Taking care of septum is incredibly easy. I basically just had to put my nose in salt water, blow out some bubbles, and on short, that's it. I also used Q-tips dipped in salt water to clean right up there where the piercing is actually got through. I would like to note that my septum piercing is done way up there at the tip of my nose in the soft tissue, rather than it being done in the middle through the bone, not bone. I'm not too good at anatomical details. Getting your septum done in the soft tissue on top of it is less painful, and it kind of, from what I understood, it heals quicker than the classic septum. The process itself is quite quick. Disclaimer, I did not do any research for getting a septum piercing before I actually went and did it. So I know that it is not the smartest thing to do, but at the time I was not thinking about getting a massive research done to be sure whether I want to do it or not, how will I live further on with it. I just spontaneously thought that this is the day when I will get my septum done, because I had wanted it for quite some time, and why the hell not? I do not regret getting a septum piercing. For my septum piercing, the technique used was attaching the piercing itself to the needle and then in one go pushing through the needle with the piercing itself as well, so there are no unnecessary waitings between piercing the hole, putting the piercing in. It was all in one go and very quick. Talking about the pain, getting through the needle of the nose, I'd say was not the worst part. It lasted only for a few seconds, but the pain that I did have issues with was the first 2-3 weeks. The first week was a nightmare. There was a situation where I got my piercing done, and 3 days after I had to go to a hospital because I started to have migraines. There was no correlation between getting a piercing done and getting migraines suddenly, but we will talk about it a little bit later. I had to take my piercing out to get some tests done and then put it back in. I struggled with putting the piercing back in, and I have not taken my piercing out ever since that day. It is still there. It was very hard to get the piercing back in the nose, but I caught myself at the thought that whilst I was trying to put it back in, after all the tests were done, that if I do not succeed, I will not be getting this piercing again. Pain during the first week was quite harsh for me. I have low tolerance for pain. I could feel my body not really accepting something else put in my nose. I am sure, 100% sure, that I had my temperature go up. I never measured it because I didn't care. I knew that the first days and first weeks would be the worst. Cleaning my piercing with the salt water definitely helped, but the first week was the worst, definitely. I would not want to go through this again. I feel that the experience of pain was more traumatizing than anything else regarding this whole process and having a piercing. So what I would like to say with this is that if you are very icky with pain and you have low tolerance for it, think twice about getting a piercing done. I did not think about it. I knew that I am not great with pain. I tried to suck it up and get through it as much as possible without taking any pain medications. There was a night that I did take it, and the pain was worse because I constantly forgot that I just had my septum done, bumping my nose, touching my nose, accidentally pushing on my nose, touching the piercing itself. It all was incredibly painful. When you forget about having something new in your face that hurts incredibly much, you tend to forget that you have to be more careful, and you realize how many times a day you actually touch your nose, how many things such as getting dressed affect your whole face. With time, of course, you become more aware. First week was hell. Second week was getting a little bit better, but I started to feel fine during the third week and after third week. So definitely the first month is the hardest. But after that, it kind of feels fine. You have to remember to always take care of your piercing for it to heal better. Did what was told me to rinse my nose, clean the holes with the Q-tips for 1 week straight. But then I got bored of it because I have commitment issues when it comes to taking care of myself and health and with regularly doing things that I'm supposed to do. So after the first week that I cleaned the nose properly, I feel like it started to heal better for me. I let it go and let it heal by itself. Nothing horrible happened, but I do advise taking care of your new piercing as much as possible. After the first month, I could start to easily touch my piercing. It didn't hurt at all. So after 2 months, I can move it around. It causes me no issues at all. I can touch my nose now from the sides, because previously I was not able to do it because from the sides it hurt a lot as well. But I do still have some pain when I touch right on the tip of my nose, because the piercing is so close to the very top of it. Naively thought that you get the piercing done, then it hurts for 2 weeks and that's it. It has completely healed, but that's not the case. So as I mentioned previously, I started to have migraines 3 or 4 days after getting my septum piercing done. At the start, I had no idea that those were migraines, so it was a huge health red flag. I had no idea what was going on, but I got diagnosed with migraines with auras. I'm having a migraine right now. That's fun. Just a second, I'll take a pill quickly. Where was I? So it was confirmed from doctor's side that my septum had absolutely nothing to do with my headaches, my auras, or anything else that was suddenly happening with my body. Why I'm telling this is because it is kind of a known thing that if you pierce your ears, it can affect your eyesight, but it does not. But when you pierce septum, it does not affect your eyesight. And a lot of people told me to be aware of it because my auras are reflecting to my eyes, but that is a completely different story, not for this video. So in conclusion, I would like to say to do your research before you get something pierced. Be aware of some things that might not be written there out on the interwebs, such as getting your septum pierced means that you will constantly have boogers stuck in your nose that will be very hard to get rid of. It sounds incredibly gross, but that is the reality of it. Your breathing is affected. You don't get as much air in as you previously did, and I became quickly aware of it whilst I was still in the hospital because I had to take it out, and suddenly I realized, wow, there's so much air coming into my lungs. Like, it doesn't affect me during the day. I don't feel any difference at all when the septum is in. I don't feel any difference when the septum is hidden inside my nose. I have no issues with it. My breathing has not gotten worse. It is just affected. Patiently waiting for my septum to be completely healed. Other than that, having a septum piercing is quite fun. I enjoy it. The healing process is a bitch, but that's just life. I believe that's it. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye!